Nice to meet you.
How are you?
I'm very well, thanks. Yourself?
Yeah, not too bad at all. Not too bad.
Hi, nice to meet you. My name's Matt.
Have a seat, Matt.
Thank you. So we already started the timer, by the way.
Well, we're just about to.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're good. Don't worry, they'll keep it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I understand we've got 20 minutes today, is that right? So just about 1:05.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So, yeah, quick introduction, guys. My name's Matt Saunders. I'm from Salesforce, based in the UK. I've been on the RBS account for about 3 months now. So I was based within Salesforce previously, but moved over to look after the Salesforce account about 3 months ago, yeah. So did you want to just introduce yourself so we all know who's around the table?
Yeah, so I'm Dominic McManus. I work as supply chain manager within RBS, and essentially my role will be to help work with Claire in terms of the market research exercise here. So we're looking at yourselves amongst other of your competitors from a CRM perspective,
Okay.
and looking at the whole customer experience point on that. So
Mm-hmm.
that's me.
Yeah, and I'm Claire. I also work in supply chain services as supply chain manager alongside Dom. So similar kind of objectives, working with business to identify third parties that can help them with any problems and how we can work with them to make sure they get the best result.
Okay, so just to make sure we're all up to speed, I was originally meant to meet Tony Mitchell, so I was introduced to Tony, who I believe is the chairman of the CRM task force for the project.
That's right.
Yeah, so I was originally scheduled to meet Tony. That meeting has been passed over to Global Supply Chain Services. Were you aware of that conflict before? Were you aware of that before?
Yeah, we've been meeting.
Yeah.
So that's
Okay.
fine.
Just wanted to get that out of the way
Yeah.
before I
No,
continue
that's
any
fine,
procurement.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, brilliant. So I guess what I wanted to cover today, guys, is we're going to have a little chat about Salesforce as a business, trying to understand some of your requirements behind this project, a little introduction with Salesforce, how we may be able to help, and hopefully as well understanding from your perspective what the supply chain process would be as we move forward throughout this project, and then just have a little wrap up to see where we can round off from there.
Yeah, perfect.
So
No, go for it. Sorry.
So my understanding from what I've been told is that there's been a strategic review undergone recently. Did you want to give me a little bit of background or some of the key takeaways from that?
Yeah, of course. So in terms of the review that we've done, we've been looking at some of the platforms and the CRM systems that we have in place now. Plural is a slight giveaway here in terms of some of the issues we're having. But what we've done is we've identified that in comparison to some of our competitors in the banking sector, we're not as consolidated or as joined up as we ought to be. Now, the amount of processes, platforms, etc. that we have in the bank mean that we operate in a very fragmented manner. Communication-wise and talking to each other, it's nowhere near the level it ought to be in this day and age. So what it means is that we've identified a bottom line risk to the customer in terms of their experience with RBS within the business banking sector, and also the simplification in the process and the opportunity to make this a much more simplified and consolidated platform. So that, from a very, very high level sort of nutshell, is where we're trying to get to, and the driver behind these conversations that we're having behind the market. And what we're trying to look for from you is whether we have the ability to move towards a more consolidated platform, what benefits that could potentially bring to us, and get an understanding of what you can do as Salesforce compared to some of your competitors. Is what you've done tried and tested? What do you have that your competitors don't? And what is your USP? What stands you out?
Okay. So I guess we've got a clear emphasis there on the need to consolidate what I'm guessing is quite legacy systems.
Yes.
So looking at stuff that's quite aged on-premise infrastructure. I'm assuming we're not looking at a cloud model here at the moment. Have we got any cloud systems?
No.
Okay, so just to introduce you a little bit about Salesforce, our tagline is cloud, cloud, cloud. So from an innovation perspective, we were the pioneers of the software as a service model. So that means that our subscription, we offer a subscription-based model. All of our services are offered from the cloud. Whilst our competitors do that when we're talking about differentiation and USPs, we were the pioneers of that, and we're the market leaders in CRM because of that. People may do it also, but they also do a mix of other things, and they don't do it as well as us. So just at a very high level there, yeah, I want to introduce you to the software as a service is what we'd probably be looking at. The ability to consolidate all of those legacy systems is achievable, so we would effectively make those old systems redundant whilst integrating your current data platforms within Salesforce into a one singular view.
Is that similar to what you've done with other banks?
Yeah, so I guess on a business scale, we've got over 150,000 businesses currently in the cloud. In terms of actual businesses, lots of financial institutions, we actually have financial services specific solutions. Wells Fargo, Barclays, financial services agency. So we've got a good platform there, a good reference architecture behind us. So yes, this is a tried and tested system. Lots of conversations still going on to increase that as well.
I was going to say, in terms of the implementation you mentioned here about from what we're at the moment, so the legacy systems, a lot of hardware, the cloud, how does Salesforce support us with that, and what is involved in removing the hardware and transition from users to one system to another?
Yeah, sure. So at an implementation stage, we have a large network of partners that work with us, and effectively those partners can be large system integrators. You've got the likes of Accenture, Deloitte, and then go down all the way to some smaller people that are quite local to yourselves. Considering the size of RBS and the scope of the project that I'm imagining, I would assume we have some of the large systems integrators that would be able to help you. So they would come in at an early stage, and that would be both technical consulting in terms of how we actually fit your current architectures together, and we'd also do some customization around the system as well. As we go down, you're obviously going to have some customization around the system, but some more specific about the requirements of your business. SIs can help you with that as well.
Okay. Yeah. Timescale wise, is that something you've done comparatively quickly? Because for a bank, it can take a while for implementation.
Yeah. I guess the timescale is fairly reliant on yourselves. So we would work within your timescales. Lots of our other projects, as you can imagine, customising a large platform for a bank like this does take time, but if we engage the SIs early, we can get that system rolling fairly quickly and try and get it as quick as possible.
So we've got relatively senior stakeholder coverage on this. I think for us, we're trying to look at getting this done as quickly as possible. You know, market exercise can take a little bit of a while, but if we decide to take you forward, it'd be quite a good idea in terms of a ballpark to come back with something. You think a few months, 6 weeks, you know, a little bit longer than that. What you've seen before from previous experience, so we can feed that up to our exco. Okay,
let me take that as an action from today's meeting.
Yep.
Personally, because I've only been on the RBS account, I don't have the details of that, but I'll take that as a break. So I understand that this is predominantly for the business banking segment of RBS. Can you give me a little bit of information about that, just quite a high-level overview of what you do?
Yeah, so I think we are looking across the whole business banking portfolio here. So you've got, as you imagine with RBS, a very, very wide range of customers, so startups, SMEs, mid-corporates, PLCs, etc. So there is a huge, huge range of customers that we're looking at, and the platform, given the diversity of these customers and the different needs that they have, it's key for us to ensure that whilst we have a consolidated platform, it can still talk and engage with the customers and their various requirements, and we can have that tailored system to it. So really it's a combination of simplification but that ability to adapt as well.
Definitely. So again, I point to some of the financial institutions that we've seen, some of the large other customers. So Hewlett Packard Enterprise are one of our main customers globally, 250,000 people in there. Back in a past life, I did work for Hewlett Packard Enterprise. I can vouch that there was lots of coverage for customization there.
Okay.
In terms of when you customize it down to a granular level, again, we have the ability to tailor data sets in basically an infinite number of ways that you like, and that all depends again on what your requirements are. So just from a quick look, I can see that your 4 main segments are from startups all the way through to MNCs. That would be one way that we can customise it. I'm also envisioning that we can customise different loans that you offer, different banking services, etc. So that is all definitely available within the service.
Yeah, and I think the key thing is, you know, in upcoming meetings, let's get that on the table to people within the business who are much closer to that, so they then can get more points and questions to you and then understand what you can do and what would suit them as well. So I think that's definitely one to bring forward to them so they get their expertise.
Okay, great.
Just for me, I just wanted to go back on a point, I think a couple of minutes ago, about some of the work you've done from a risk perspective with other financial services clients. Now, we clearly have very stringent data protection and information security policies, a lot of governance around that, and clearly cloud is something that we look at and take more of a stringent view on, just because it's relatively new into the market. So, what have been the key risks that have come out from some of the banking clients that you've had, and have you been able to address them and get a good feel for that, and is there anything that you'd highlight to us as a concern?
Okay, so great question. That is very relevant within the marketplace, as you said. Some of the main banks, what I'm hearing is obviously privacy of customer data. That is paramount for all the banks. When you go down a level, many of the banks that we see are operating in the EU. So with the EU privacy laws, the occurrence of GDPR recently as well, you know, we're getting lots and lots of feedback that any EU customer data needs to be stored within the EU. What I would like to say is, yes, tick, we can do that, that's perfect. From a security cloud perspective, all of the, as I said, the 150,000 businesses are banking with us. Not banking, sorry.
Okay.
Resting in our cloud. So we've got 150,000 businesses worth of data house in that cloud. $1 billion invested into that cloud security every year. If we want to get a little bit technical here, just from a user perspective, we have two-way authentication, so that adds another level of security. ISO, we have multiple certifications, so I think all of the evidence is there that we do have the security. Obviously with cloud there is a big risk, you can't guarantee 100% of the time, but any precautions that have been taken, that can be taken, have been taken to prevent that.
So you've gone through pretty stringent assurance and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Okay. No, that's useful.
If you wanted a little bit more information on that, we have a website which is trust.salesforce.com, which I can send that link over to you afterwards. And that's basically a web page that outlines all of the current security and performance updates that we're doing on our cloud.
Okay.
So you've got full visibility of anything that you want on there.
Perfect, okay, that's great. And in terms of commercials, in terms of the pricing model we've had to look at, we understand that there's a per user basis on that now. In terms of what we see as the level of engagement from user to user, it is likely to vary. Now we've got 20,000 users within the bank, from a business banking perspective that is. Some of that engagement with the CRM is going to be lighter touch, some of it's going to be a little bit more entrenched and much more frequent. So we're not sure that the per user pricing mechanism is something that necessarily suits our needs.
Okay.
But is there anything else that you can bring to the table that would help us in terms of how we look to use the CRM?
Yeah, sure. So we offer something called an enterprise license agreement. So what that is, where our normal licenses are categorised by the amount of users that you want, as well as other criteria. The enterprise license agreement doesn't fall under that criteria as well. So discussions like these will work out, as you said, you've got some people that use quite a lighter touch with the system, some people that are using it day to day. So we incorporate that into the pricing plan, and we can actually make a tailored solution within that.
Okay.
And in the enterprise license agreement, the feature set that you get is under our unlimited price band. So what that means is you get the complete full feature set of Salesforce. You can customise that, and you can customise it with your data usage. What we find is that we're usually looking at about 25 to 50% on savings off list price when you go with an enterprise license agreement, as if you were to buy all of the stuff separately and do all of that customisation outside of the agreement.
Okay, that's really good. Yeah, I think flexibility is absolutely key for us here. As a bank, we're not too far away from the Barclays in terms of diversity and similarity. So yeah, very, very key that we can answer that question and show that flexibility if we're to take the business case up the line on that.
Okay.
And just another couple, in terms of training, so there's going to be a large number of users that are used to using legacy systems.
Yeah.
Is there ongoing training available for them throughout?
Yes, so what I touched upon within the enterprise license agreement, under that unlimited band, you actually get a 24/7 toll-free support service.
Right.
So that might not be as applicable for some of the salespeople that are using it in terms of actually the functionality, but as we transition to an implementation, that could be really handy to have those on-site people that are dealing with the architecture.
Yeah.
You know, that's really good. Now, as we go down to a bit more granular level, we have lots of services. So we have Salesforce University, where people can buy paid services online or in the classroom, and we usually use that to get agents, as you would from the business, to go on those courses, and then that cascades down, so you don't have to pay for everyone to go on that course. We also have Salesforce Trailhead. Now, Trailhead is a free service. That's an online service that can be accessed by anyone, and that offers free, quite interactive tutorials through Salesforce, and that is much better suited to the salesman, to the manager, the line manager, the people that are using that on a day-to-day basis. More intuitive, less about the architecture kind of thing.
Okay. Excellent.
One point I wanted to touch upon, if you don't mind, is so if we go back to the 20,000 users, and so kind of looking at the business as well, those 10,000 people or so that are going to be using that on a day-to-day basis, what kind of role are they in? Are they people that are serving these 4 segments?
It does vary from segment to segment. I'm not too close to that answer, to be honest, but if I was to put a high-level answer just now, it would vary between each one. At the next meeting, we can certainly have a conversation about that and get someone to give you much better insight into that, if that's okay.
Yeah, so just bearing in mind that we've got the action to look at how long to implement. If we get an idea of who those people are, we can kind of do some meetings with them to understand what their actual functional requirements are, and then that will speed up the customisable process. And that'll also give us an insight into the kind of services that you would be looking for as well.
Okay,
Excellent.
thank you.
So are there any other questions from your side at the moment?
I don't think so. I think that kind of
Yeah?
That's good.
Okay.
Anything from your side?
Yeah, so I wouldn't mind running through where we go from here in terms of the RBS procurement process.
Yeah, no problem. So essentially, this is a sort of soft market research exercise where we're looking at yourself and other competitors in the market and get an understanding of what we think is the art of the possible, where we want to get to, and then use that as a basis to inform an RFP. Now, given the governance around RBS, we have to take things to market to ensure we get a good competitive process and evidence value for money. So we will have further follow-up conversations with the business to put you in front of the table with them, give them a feel for Salesforce, and then after that make a call in terms of we invite yourselves along with others to the RFP.
Okay, great. Is there a formal document that you could send over so I've got a copy of that?
Well, I don't want what's over
I was just going to say, you mean in terms of the requirements or just the end-to-end?
The process, the procurement process.
And we can certainly send you sort of a briefing of what that will be. I think as Dom said, it's relatively early on at the moment, but we need to have some follow-up sessions with the business
Yeah.
to really sort of dive, really into the detail around, what we're looking for and how that will go. But yeah, we can certainly send you over a kind of high-level breakdown of the end-to-end process, that's no problem.
Okay, great. So just to wrap up then, high level, looking for a one view, got lots of legacy systems at the moment, predominantly on the business side, or ultimately on the business side of the business. Probably looking towards an enterprise license agreement because of the customisation you need in. So I think where we go from here is if we both go away from these actions, I can reconvene over email with you.
Yeah.
It'd be great to set up a date for another meeting to follow up on these actions.
Yeah.
Have you got any dates in mind or a timeline that you'd like to meet again?
I think if we say in the next couple of weeks, we need to go back and catch up with the business stakeholders on this to make sure we've got the right people available for the next meeting. So I think we're giving ourselves a couple of weeks just now.
Yeah.
And we can confirm that once we've spoken to them.
Okay. And who would be the best person to contact to arrange that? Would you like me to reach out to either of yourselves or?
Yeah, you can reach out to us in the,
Yeah.
in the interim, then we can make sure the right people are involved.
Okay,
This side, yeah.
fantastic.
Perfect.
Thanks for your time, guys.
Yeah, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
How did you find that?
Enjoyable, loved it.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. I've got the impression it was, you were being yourself, and got the impression that you were enjoying it as well. So no, it's good. I think very much across the piece it was a very good, balanced meeting. The only thing at the start, it was just a little bit of pretend you're in the pub with somebody. Ask them if they watched the football, if they've been on holiday or going on holiday, something like that. I don't know, just a kind of a bit of an icebreaker. But to be honest, introductions, you straight away very clear, engaging, professional, especially with the whole conflict of interest sort of thing. I think that was actually a very good detail to pick up on, and I think it just shows that you've got a lot of regard and care for the work that you're doing. So I think that's a very, very valuable skill to have.
Okay, thank you.
Forward body language as well. I think that was really great, really engaging. Lots of eye contact as well. So I think that shows you can really stand up to what you're saying and that you're comfortable in what is a very, very challenging environment. Must have been a bit nerve-wracking. I did like how you sort of introduced Salesforce, cloud. Maybe a little bit cheesy. Some people might find it cheesy. To be honest, I thought it really, really set the stall and put a good level of authority behind what you were saying. So I quite liked it. Legacy systems, pretty well known for RBS. I think you showed good engagement with some of RBS's issues, so I thought that was pretty good. You backed up what you were saying, so you made some big headline statements. You were able to come back and actually show that you put some authority behind those statements as well, so I like that. Implementation was good. Timescales, you were like, you tell me, was a good answer because, to be honest, it is often RBS. You were clear that there was an action you had to pick up in the middle of the meeting. I think I can't recall what it was about.
So that was, you were looking at how long you were, your time scales for this.
Yeah.
So it was good. And then you showed your experience across financial services institutions, data protection, you came out with accreditations, and some of the things that I would expect from someone who knows their stuff as a salesman. So some people might be a bit glossy in your knowledge. I felt you were quite confident getting into the detail and you weren't trying to manoeuvre the question to suit yourself, so I quite like that. I liked the part about the data protection where I said, how confident are you in it? And you said, can't guarantee it, but this is what we can do to back it up. Now, I think someone says to me, I can 100% guarantee it, is lying, hence why we have the regulations we do. So I do like that you're able to kind of be straight on that statement. Just try to look at other points. Commercials, you fended that off very, very well. I was probably trying to throw in a bit of a spanner there and just say, give me a position, give me something so I can kind of hook onto it. And it was good just to show that you say, take it offline. There's other approaches. Let's talk about this later. And I thought very, very accomplished.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Completely agree. I think you did really well. The introductions at the start was good. It was good that you kind of threw in a couple of names of people you'd already spoken with. You came across really well, that you know your stuff. I mean, you've been the person today that's not provided a presentation of some sort. I actually think you did really well without it. It kind of showed that you knew your stuff. You were confident enough to answer questions without to refer to anything, or and you had all the facts, the figures, and the kind of key points that kind of really stood out. So similar to what Dom says, the knowledge of the up-to-date GDPR and everything like that just kind of proves that you know your stuff, and that's really what the key things are for us. So no, I thought you did. I thought it was really good. You came across really well, really confident and clear, and you did really well. Okay,
great. Thank you. It's great feedback.
These guys put feedback as well.
So for me, I felt like I was eavesdropping on an actual meeting.
Yeah, it was very real.
It seemed like you guys weren't role playing either side. So it was. I really liked that. At first, I thought you were taking too many notes because when they were speaking, your head was down a lot, which it's hard to write and listen and make sure that you get all that, especially because I think the notepad kind of saves you a little bit, and so I think you don't need to write down everything they say, because I'm pretty sure you could probably remember. You could probably recite this whole conversation just from who you are as a person, I think. So just might be careful about that. But I thought your explanations and your benefits were spot on and you did phenomenal.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, I think you're a fantastic candidate. I was really impressed with you. The way you interact, I think you're a natural. Yeah, it feels like when I talk to you, it's kind of like I know you, like, oh, it's going to be easy to know you. I found as well that you could, like, the way that you explain, like, solutions, it's kind of like you're already working in those, and, you know, like, I found you really professional and I like what you said as well, like, you didn't have a presentation, you know, so that could be a bit of a downer, but, like, you didn't need it for some reason, like, you didn't need you to have a presentation, it was just great, like, really liked it, yeah.
Thank you.
No worries.
Yeah, I totally agree, Matt. Professional is the word I've written down as well. You almost strike me as somebody who's actually been in the role for. Have you ever done a sales role before?
So, as I alluded to in the meeting, I did an internship at Hewlett Packard Enterprise last year.
Yeah.
So that was between my second and third years of university. Over that time, I worked with Salesforce, so I was a sales support intern, and that started off with my sales team coming to me and saying, "Can you fix Salesforce for me?" So that's why I've kind of got a good knowledge of it.
You've got that. It comes across that you've been in that sales environment, and I mean, excellent in that. That's really strong. Personally, I'm not sure about the presentation thing. I'm just saying to others, it's all about style. You carried it off without it, no problem at all. Cloud. Interesting. I've only been in sales for 4 months. I haven't heard that one yet. I'm saying that for I always feel like you sort of run the risk when you go pieced like that.
Yeah.
Dom might come back and say, well, our motto is no cloud, and the meeting's getting over, you know. So you just got a little bit cautious with that. You're not dealing with a bank, and they have got legitimate concerns around there.
Okay.
I think I don't. This is something that nobody's really come in with. Salesforce have something called the Salesforce Advantage, which is something kind of we all learn in early days, and it just helps us deal with those USP questions, those commercial questions, trust, innovation, customization, connectivity at a high level, just to breed confidence, because that's really what you're trying to do, is just to build that confidence that you're the right partner to go forward in the job.
Okay.
And to a large extent, you know, Salesforce are the biggest player in the market, Gartner say so, lots of really good customers, so you can be confident that, you know, what you're right to be in the meeting room is there. You don't have to oversell that. Sometimes, again, reversing the question would be good. What you were doing, the questions were just opening everything up. There was a classic moment where you just opened the whole meeting up, and it was really natural. Dom started speaking, and Claire came in, and there was all this great information going across. There's a couple of times you could possibly just reverse the question. And what do you mean by that, Claire? And what do you mean? Just to really open it up a bit further. But I think that's something that nobody else has come close to doing so far. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. The discovery questioning was brilliant. The references were good. Non-financial services, fine. Maybe scale was great. Lead into a financial services example. On the commercial side, remember, all they're trying to do is be comfortable that the deal that's going to be structured, if we get to the point where you're the right fit for RBS, will be a win-win. So it's good for RBS, good for you. So flexibility, that's really all we're trying to do there, which was fine. Next steps, great. Again, like everybody else, we kind of just ran out of time, but we were getting to the point where we were going to document next steps. But you know, clearly, you've got a penchant for doing this. You're clearly good at it, and you know, I would definitely recommend a sales career for you, Matt. That was really good.
Thank you. I appreciate the feedback.
Well done.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks for your time.
Yeah. Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thanks, guys. Nice to meet you.